Hey everybody, welcome to our fifth Funday School for Business. My name is Shelly Roth, and if you're new to us, we meet on a Google Hangout once a month. It's always the last Friday of the month unless there's a holiday or something going on. But we always talk about a conscious business practice, something that I know I've had in my business that has made a big difference, and something I normally share in my social media classes. Today's topic is actually the tagline of my Funday School for Business. It's from business as usual to business as purpose. And I'll talk first and describe to you how that shows up for me and how I see it in my business as well as other businesses. And then our illustrious video panel, who will introduce themselves when it's their turn, will share the same thing. If you have any comments while we're going through, please do contribute in the Q&A section on the right. You'll see a little place to join, ask any questions, share any comments. So let's go ahead and get started. I've been doing social media training, consulting, and speaking for about 8 years. And what I find I enjoy most when I'm doing social media training is teaching other businesses how to use conscious business practices to help watch their businesses explode. I know I was not a believer in any of these conscious business practices. I was all about power and money and more power. And so today's topic is, well, why in the heck are we in business? We all come from, oh, I've got to make money, I've got bills to pay. We all have bills to pay. But I think the minute that I finally got it, the minute that the popcorn popped in my bag of kernels, I realized that the more I gave up worrying about power, worrying about money, worrying about all that stuff that I was trained to concern myself with, is the moment I attracted what I wanted to, which was love and warmth and caring. It basically reflected all of that. So today I stumbled upon a client of mine a couple weeks ago, Tom Ferguson, who I stumbled upon him through Rachel, who I forgot Rachel was working with him as well. And he just rebranded his company, and his tagline is Heart Matters. In his new book, Peerless Defy Convention, Lead from the Heart, Watch What Happens. I just love that. That just kind of says it all in a nutshell. And it's not really about what you sell, but about what you stand for, what I stand for. I might not be the best social media trainer in the world or speaker. However, I know what makes me the best. What makes me the best is being my sincere self, coming from my heart, living my true passion, and that's what sets me apart. That's what makes me successful. I can have all the social media knowledge in the world, and I'm very knowledgeable with social media, but that's not what sets me apart. What sets me apart is the meaning and coming from who I am. So those that set out to make meaning are much more likely to succeed than when we set out just to make money. Now, I watched Arianna Huffington on Oprah's Super Soul Sunday, and I don't usually tune into that. I record it, but something told me to watch it. And sure enough, do you guys know, you know Arianna Huffington? She's a big publisher, very well known, and she just published a book called Thrive. And she describes how she was so after power and money, and that's what motivates us and what we deem as success, especially in the United States. However, it took her passing out on her desk, waking up in a pool of blood, to have the kernel pop and her start questioning, wait a minute, power, money, what's success all about? So she came up with what she calls the third metric. And so I'm going to read you some of her comments. Our relentless pursuit of the two traditional metrics of success are money and power. It's led us to an epidemic of burnout and stress-related illnesses and an erosion in the quality of our relationships, family life, and ironically, our careers. In being connected to the world 24/7, we're losing our connection to what really matters. Our current definition of success is, as Thrive shows, literally killing us. We need a new way forward. So that third metric that she refers to in her book in Thrive includes our well-being, our ability to draw on our intuition and inner wisdom, our purpose, living our purpose, and our sense of wonder, and our capacity for compassion and giving. Um, she goes further on to talk about when we commemorate somebody after they pass. We all know this. On their eulogies, we're not talking about how many likes they had on Facebook or how great their newsletter was or their video teaching them. Our eulogies are not about sales and marketing. They're about what matters. People aren't going to remember you I almost said as Angelina Jolie says. Oh my gosh, as Maya Angelou says. Sorry, Maya. People won't remember what you say or do, but will remember how you made them feel. Debbie Tummins, one of our other video panelists, included that in one of our Hangouts. So that's kind of what came up for me around this topic, and I think I'm right about at my 6 or 7 minute mark. Now it looks like we have an extra panelist or two, so we might have to shorten a bit. So everybody stay conscious of the time you're using. And we're going to go ahead and Sharon, I'm going to mute myself, and you're up. Are you ready to go?
Hi, can you hear me? You can hear me? Great. Hello, everyone. This is the Master Communicator. And I have a business called the Master Communicator Writing Services. And just want to invite you to check us out. The moral of the story is we offer caring and compassionate service to authors and small businesses. I know sometimes writing can be intimidating. And so we just embrace you and love you through the process. Now, I want to talk about this from business as usual to business as purpose. One of the things that really rocks my world is the fact that we have gotten so into conforming to what, quote unquote, the industry says is the proper business posture that we have forgotten that we were designed by a master creator to perform a certain function. So we're trying to step into this cookie cutter role where it doesn't fit. The heels hurt our toes, okay? The necklaces and all the bling, 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 that clouds the fact that we are intelligent beings trying to make a difference in the world. And all that energy should be put to embracing who you are and really going back to the master creator and figuring out, hey, what you designed me to do. I do business because I can't do anything else, because it's my DNA to do business, to be a business owner. I tried everything. And my personal experience has been that everything doesn't work for me. I was designed to be unique and to be purposeful, but I had to give myself permission to do that. And I believe that you really create a more positive atmosphere in the world when you decide that I'm going to embrace my purpose. And that's why business as usual should be business as purpose, because business as purpose is business on purpose. You are the person that makes the decision as to whether or not you're going to embrace your master creator's purpose, that thing that was divinely how can I say, intricately placed inside of you, that you would have the courage to seek it. And if it means that you conform, that's good. I mean, if that's what it means. But most likely it will mean that you will not conform, that you are a unique individual with a unique purpose, and you have a unique way of going after it. So the moral of this story from the Master Communicator is this: love yourself enough to find the courage to really find out what you are designed to do and who you are designed to be. And like Shelly said, when you open up that space in the universe, I can tell you from my own personal experience, people will come looking for you because you are something that they've been hungry for, that they need. I mean, social media is great. Hallelujah. I love social media. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, if I don't show up the way that I'm supposed to show up, then people who are looking for me won't be able to see me for who I really am and what I'm really designed to do. Thank you.
I got to talk. That was awesome. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That was just awesome. Thank you, Sharon. You are so spot on. I was trying to type it, and then I realized, wait a minute, I pay somebody to transcribe this, so why am I hurrying up and typing everything you're saying? I forgot. You are so spot on. And all the years of my life I wasted being somebody I wasn't, a salesperson, a sales shark. Oh man, well, how ridiculous! And the minute, and no, if you haven't found your purpose, I want people to know that sometimes it just isn't there yet, and maybe it just hasn't occurred. That kernel hasn't popped. So, anyone else want to say anything? Nope. Okay, Sharon, thank you for that. Oh, Jacoby wants to. Sorry, Jacob.
Yeah, I just want to address that finding the purpose. One of the things that we've experienced a lot in our work and personally is that the purpose doesn't always reveal itself quickly. And like Sharon's experience, often, and sometimes it takes an entire lifetime, like the lifetime is the path of searching for the purpose. And we found that a lot of people do try many things and have to kind of put on a lot of different roles and hats and coats and figure out to whittle down and get in touch with what their purpose really is. So the encouraging thing, because we do come across a lot of people, especially who are hitting, like, there are two sets, kind of hitting up to 30, and then who have kind of become empty nesters and are going into a second phase of life and have an opportunity to focus back on themselves. And one of the things we always try to encourage people is to just keep asking the question. One of the themes of this week's Week of World Cooperation is the questioning is the quest. And so it's guaranteed that you will get the answer. The answer often comes as a reward for that persistence to keep asking the question, and explore the question. The purpose is hardwired into who we are. And again, when it's my turn, I'll introduce what we do, and part of what we do is help people see and plug into the map of their purpose that already exists in them. But it usually takes a lot of life experience to get to the point of being able to do that. And that's, I believe, as part of that master world plan and that plan for us, that's part of why we're here and part of what our experience is meant to be.
Thank you, Jacoby. It's funny, before you said the questioning is the quest, I typed the question is the quest per Jacoby, and then I realized you said it, so that was cool. Thanks for sharing that. And Sharon, awesome. Yes.
There's a comment from the Q&A from Lisa, L-E-I-S-A, Lisa, and she says, when we intently focus on the gifts and attributes of another, we miss the beauty in the gifts and attributes that God has placed in us. As a matter of fact, we don't even try to develop them because we're too busy trying to be someone we're not. This stunts, and then it cuts off. So that's all I can see for now. Okay.
Hopefully we can, Suzette, we can get, I think this will stay with us so we can capture all that. Thanks for that, Lisa, you said? Thanks for that, Lisa. We'll get those captured in our notes after, story notes, as Cara calls them. Okay, let's go ahead and who do we have up? We have Rachel. You ready, Rach?
I'm ready.
There you go.
Can you hear me? All right. Hey, folks, my name is Rachel Parker. My company's name is Resonance, and like Sharon, we are also in the communication field, and we're in it from a more strategic standpoint. So we help clients be very strategic about how they're using their blogs and their e-newsletters and their social media, make sure it all works together to establish relationships with clients and prospects. And I love this topic. I think it's great because I'm right there with you because I came from a corporate background, and when I was in that environment, everything was about the next promotion, the next title, the next raise, and it's like you would get it and you would be thrilled for a couple of hours. I mean, honestly, and it would be like, okay, you know, what's next? What's next on the ladder? And it was right around the time I turned 40 that I just started to see, okay, this is ridiculous. You know, it's always the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, and that's when I started to think about really becoming a business owner. And you know, as we're talking about this topic, I'm thinking about a book that I have read, Thrive, by Ariana. I thought it was very good. There's another book called, I believe it's called Start With Why, and it's by an author named Simon Sinek. And he has a very interesting approach. He talks about, from a branding standpoint, usually we start with the what we're going to do, and then we move into the how, and then we move into the why. So, you know, we make computers, this is how we make them, and this is why we make them. And he said, actually, if you look at the world's most successful brands, they do it the other way around. So a company like Apple starts with the why, and that is they want to challenge the status quo. They want to do things differently. The how is that they make beautiful, lifestyle-oriented products, and then the what is the computers and the iPhones. And it just forces you to look so differently at how we position ourselves as businesses. And so I think when we start with the why, and one thing, Shelly, that reminded me, I think the last Funday was about competition. Because if you really start with your purpose, there is no competition because everybody has a different why that they're doing this. So the why for my business is that we want to help businesses build relationships. You know, the old days when the business communicated through these fancy taglines and these slick ads, and that was this kind of picture-perfect image that they projected, and that was all the audience saw. That's a thing of the past. People don't want to see that photoshopped, glossy image of you anymore. They want to get to know you. They want to build a relationship. They want to know, you know, show me how you can help me first, and then maybe we'll start talking about a transaction. So, and that's what we're out to help businesses do. We want to help them build those relationships so that when they do come on with their marketing message, people think, oh, social media training, of course I'm going to go to Shelly. I need some good writing, of course I'm going to go to Sharon. And that helps them so that they're not constantly bombarding with the same marketing messages. And I mean, people are over that. We've been marketed to every which way. I mean, for heaven's sake, I can't even go to the bathroom in a restaurant without having an ad in front of me. It's like, okay, we're over it. So that's our purpose. We're just out to help businesses just break down that wall. You know, get over that need to be that perfect photoshopped capital P professional version of yourself, and just be honest and open and have communication. And that's and then we help them live out their purpose. You know, a lot of our conversation with them is why do you do what you do? Why do people come to you? And sometimes it takes a lot of doing because they're so wrapped up in that what of what they're doing that it takes a while to get to the why. So that's kind of my view of purpose. Any thoughts on that from anybody? Shelly.
Of course, I have something to say. That, you know what, it's funny, Rachel, I've known you for 4 years now, and I think that's the first time I ever heard you say that what you do is help people build relationships instead of what I do is content marketing. And that was like, oh my God, that's it. That's what you're passionate about. And I love what you said about, I wrote it down, there is no competition because what everybody, if you're doing what you're passionate about, there is no competition because there's only one you that can do that. And that was just sweet. Love that, love that. That's all I'm going to say. Anybody else?
Can you hear me, Shelly? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I love that insight. Um, Actually, I had an aha moment when she said that because I was looking for the bridge between purpose and also how we correspond or we relate to others who are in the same industry. And you're right. If we're designed to do a certain thing, it's kind of like we're all in a race. And sometimes it means that we pass the baton from one person to another so that we can win the race. So thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Awesome.
Any other hands up? Oh, Jacoby. Remember, put your hand in front of the camera because you're little down there and I can't see your hand.
I just wanted to, Lisa continued her train of thought on the Q&A, so I just wanted to finish that, which is somewhat related to what we've been talking about. So she said, this stunts our growth, this focusing on too busy trying to be others that someone we're not. This stunts our growth and potentially causes us to miss fulfilling the very purpose for which we were created. God has deposited some powerful things in each of us. He has knit purpose into our DNA.
Thank you, Lisa. All right.
Awesome.
Any other comments out there from the Peanut Gallery? Date myself, Peanut Gallery. Who remembers that? What's that from? Peanut Gallery. Who? Oh wait, we got hands up now.
That's
Howdy Doody. Howdy Doody. Yeah, that's funny. All right, Rachel, thank you so much for contributing. That was just awesome, and I love that Sharon had an aha moment, and that was terrific insight. Cara,
Awesome.
you ready to hit it?
Yes, thank you, Shelly. I appreciate it, and I was so happy to come back. I've been on a journey in the North and Baltic Sea, actually connecting the dots around the world, and Shelly's been on this journey with me for several years as we've seen the light, had aha moments, and then are able to share. So today, Shelly, when I saw the topic, because I literally just got back to the house on Wednesday evening, and it really had an impact as I was trying to connect the dots around the world with mission and passion and helping people. So what everyone has spoken about here has really just come together, and we really do help people one at a time. So many times you think you're going to eat the elephant just swallowing it, but it's one bite at a time, one person at a time. And I loved when you started, Shelly, talking about Ariana and the eulogy, and having been on a voyage with, probably the average age might have been 79, but what I really has come to me, having been to many different services, it's about your dash. What did you do between the born and the transition to the next level? What is it that you really did give to mankind, even if it was one person? It's that love, that genuine concern, and the passion for what you have to be able to share with someone else, no matter what business, product, or service that you have to help others. It really is about the giving, and your book, Shelly, has really, shedding the sales shark and getting into that real sincere place from your heart that is sharing and helping others. The other thing, I loved your popcorn. I am so going to use that, Shelly. Get those kernels popping. And so as we go forward, and what has come to me in this connecting the dots in the cosmic cow pie, and this is one of a series that I have written, is the cow pies are everywhere. They're every day. We have different forms of cow pies, and some people say, what is a cow pie? It's the residue left in a field by a cow, and it's just a matter of what is it that we're going to do to navigate those and have joy and love. So every business, product or service, asking themselves before they go, before they start their marketing, before they start their content, what is my reason and purpose for being? Is it to impart truth, health, and happiness? What is it you want to do? And then follow that love, because that's where it comes from. And that's when your dash is meaningful, one person at a time. So Shelly, thanks for keeping us all on track and getting us going, and being able to share this genuine concern, and know that you connect with the people who are like-minded, and that's what's important.
Anybody have any feedback and comments for Cara? And by the way, Cara didn't tell you. I was hoping she'd tell you. She's been, actually, Cara, tell them where your adventure, I forgot what it's called, Adventures at Sea.
Oh, Semester at Sea. I was on a it was a 30-day voyage, but I was gone for 45 days in the North and Baltic Sea. And at each of the ports, I met with photographers from the Photo Tour Global Directory, which are photographers that can help take you to the icon places to get the shots that you want without having to be on a tour with 50 to 75 other people, and they can do what you want. But at each port, I went with an open heart to say, what is the message from this country? What was from Lithuania? What was from Estonia? And I will share this. I had every once in a while in life, you have an amazing rush. And in Estonia, I had an opportunity to take a master art class with an international bronze sculptor, and made the most incredible figurine, a sculpture, just by listening to his encouraging words to say that everyone has creativity. You just have to go to your heart and let it come out. So it was really cool. And if you want me to, I can put myself on dark and bring it back and show you the sculpture. But it was really amazing.
I would love to see this. Do you have it there? You can hold it up so we can see it?
Yes. I'll go get it. So I'll put myself on dark. I'll take my camera off, get it, and come back. How's that?
That's awesome. Thank you. And anyone want to comment on what Cara had to share? You're always from your heart, Cara. Oh, Jacoby wants to say something. That's just why I love you, because you're always from your heart. So let's hear what Jacoby has to say.
Yeah, it's not necessarily specific to the topic, but just wanted to kind of give a shout out to social media, since we're using technology. How wonderful it was to be able to travel with Cara all over the world with her beautiful photographs that she was posting along the way, and getting to meet all those great photographers virtually. And that really is a power. I think this is one of the things that's really enabling people to find and express their purpose. And I think, Shelly, you've talked about this in your books and in all of your work with social media, that even though we can point to a lot of potential negatives that social media is creating, I think one of the things that it truly has done is it gets to what I think Rachel said, that it's kind of knocked the whole slick presentation off the pedestal, because we started to get to know each other on things like Facebook and MySpace in the old days, and Twitter and all of this. And it's given us the opportunity to realize that people, even in a business setting, and I've shared this before, I can post all the highfalutin, cool, magical, energy-related stuff in the world on social media, and nobody responds. Everybody likes my pictures of my vegan green tea latte in Maui, or my tent pitched on the seashore, or the episode of Orphan Black that I loved. And so you come to realize that so much of what we're brought up to believe, especially in corporate, is to kind of package and hide away everything that makes us personal when we step into the office. And that model has been completely blown out of the water. I know there are still companies that function that way, and there are people who are wired to thrive and succeed in that mode, and that's fine. That's not to disrespect or diminish that style, but it's just made it, I think, so much easier for most of us to find our creativity and to connect with other creative people, and then get feedback that, hey, maybe what we bring to the world isn't what we thought or were taught we were supposed to do. So Thanks, Kara, for providing an example.
Oh, it was so great to actually see you liking some of the photos, and then now here you're in my heart's in Maui. I lived there for 3 years, so it's like, oh man, she's living the dream. So, but here's my sculpture, and I don't know.
Oh,
I'm gonna
wow,
try to
that is
hold it.
awesome.
And we actually had a live model. And so she would go into different poses, and so this is another story. On the ship, you meet people, and they get to let their light shine. And there was a lady, and I think she was 88, and she was having Shabbat for anyone on the ship. And I had never been to a Shabbat service, but one of the things I learned, I lived with some fantastic Jewish friends and was a governess, but I never went to the service. But one of the things is bring in the light. That's what they do, bring in the light. And when you look at that universal, this was the thought that came to me with this sculpture, is bringing in the light. Because it doesn't matter. With universal love, there is one light, you know. So anyway, I got to share my sculpture and share the light, and so that was fun. And thank you for asking, Shelly. You just make me feel so good, and that's what it's about. It's not what you say, but how you make somebody feel, and you got it going on, girlfriend. Thank you.
Thanks, Cara. That sculpture is beautiful. Make me one. Now I'm going to see
that was the first time I ever in my entire life did a sculpture. I'm like, I was not an artsy crafty kind of kid, you know, so it was like, wow. And it was the encouragement of the instructor, the master bronze sculpturist, and he said it's in everyone. So if we can take that lesson from the world and say that creativity, that kindness from the heart, it's there, you just got to let it out. And that was less than 2 hours that I made that.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, and of course being with us. I always love when you're with us. Jacoby wants to jump in here.
Just want to share some comments from the Q&A. So Lisa Leisa says, wow, Kara, that's beautiful, love it. And Lisa Lisa was referring back to another comment, and I always have to remember to scroll down on the Q&As. So I'm just seeing this, Lisa. She said, I just think even though I have colleagues in the same industry and we do some of the same things, I may not be everyone's cup of tea, so I'm not getting caught up in the competition. And it'd be great, Lisa Lisa, to know what industry you're in.
Wow, great. Thank you all.
All right. Yeah, we would like to know your industry out there, and anyone else that wants to jump into the conversation. I love this stuff. All right, who do we have now? Let's. Oh, Jacoby she's shared her industry. Let's get Jacoby up.
Let's see. I saw the Q&A scroll, but I'm not sure. Oh, well, I'm seeing Lisa says great sculpture, so we're still waiting to hear from her industry, but that's feedback for you, Kara.
All right. Okay, well, so far so good, and Cara again. Cara came in last minute. We started chatting on Facebook this morning, and it was just great. It was like, hey, come on in, Cara. Yeah, sure, you can be on the panel. So let's see. I know Suzette wants to go. Are we last there with Suzette? Yeah, because we're going to let Jacoby kind of wrap for us. So, Suzette, are you ready? And you're still a little bit dark, but we still can see you some. Let's get this up.
Okay, good. Because I've been trying to move the camera around, and it's just not getting any brighter. So, I'm okay? Okay. Suzette Cotto with my company is Innovate Social Media, and we are in social media, but as a big picture company thought is more waking the world up to the brands of new companies through visuals and quality content, and through honest and rich posting that people are originally coming up with, or it's more geared towards their audience rather than them being a megaphone of a plethora of information. So we're getting more personal with our communications, and it's two-way communication all the way. So going back to our topic, making meaning versus making money, I was trying to think back on my career. Before I became a business owner, I worked for a number of corporations, and we went through a layoff period where there was some turnover in my career, where I had some job interviews, and made me think about one particular interview that I had with a company, and this was in 2005, and the person asking me the question was the controller of the company. So I thought, well, he's going to want to know how I'm going to bring something to the bottom line, and how I'm going to what my value in dollars would be to the company. But instead, he asked me, what kind of a legacy did I plan to leave to the company? And that was a really unexpected question for me. And I had to think of it in a way that was more thoughtful than, in a dollars and cents kind of way. So, leaving a legacy became something that I continued to think about in everything I did from that point on. It was important to me in business to make sure that I was making quality relationships with quality people, and propagating quality energy around whatever project I was working on and whoever I was working with. From that point on, really my business perspective was more along the lines of, is this good for me? Is this good for my people? Is this good for my company? Is this good for my family? And does it honor God? If I can check off each one of those things, then I know I'm leaving a legacy instead of just working in a job. So to me, it became a mission as a person rather than I'm an employee doing a job. It was something that I became part of me, wanting to leave a legacy rather than how much money did I make. Are they going to put on my headstone, oh wow, she really made a lot of money? Who cares about that? Nobody. So did I leave a legacy, and who did it honor? And so that's my meaning.
Not to put you on the spot, I would never do that, and you don't have to answer. What would you like to see on your headstone?
What would I like to see on my headstone? That I cared about you. That no matter what I did, I cared about everything. My world, the people in my world, the quality of my relationships, everything matters to me. So
Carl Riley said she would write, "She made the world a better place." That's good. She cared.
We all, it has gotten to the point where we're looking at, not only the bottom line. That's why a lot of people are taking on being business owners, because they want to create something good, and they want to leave something good behind. So to me, that's what business is about, is leaving a legacy. What kind of legacy are you going to leave?
Cool. Comments, anybody?
Suzette, what a great thought to leave with us to think about, because that then does turn it into something tangible. And when I said that, when I posted that on the comments, it was like, what did you do? And you are making the world a better place. So that comment was meant for you, because that's what you're doing.
Thank you. Well, I think our discussion today was wonderful. Thank you, Shelly.
Oh, cool. Absolutely. Jacoby has something she wants to add.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that controller, because corporate gets a lot of bum rap these days, and I think all along there have always been pockets of really enlightened people. I had a couple of interviewers like that as well, and I always appreciated the ones who surprised me, because I was so I always packaged myself so well for interviews that I loved it when somebody threw me a curveball and really made me think. And that, I think that's the best of what enterprise and business also offers us when we get together into large groups.
Okay, yeah, so a couple things came up for me. Going back just a little bit to corporate and being real, in my first book, Get Real People, I can remember being physically ill going into work every day. I won't say the word. Debbie's not with us today. But there are executives, like Debbie Tummins, who used to be an executive at corporate, has been on our Hangouts in the past, and she is totally from her heart and gets it now. I don't know if she did then, because I didn't know her on that level. But I also was thinking about, in my class yesterday, some guy just, I don't know if it's age. I have a feeling it is, and y'all are in store for this. But as you get older, your patience seems to shrink for stupidity. And in my class yesterday, I had somebody that just talked about, I need to know the ROI on, I've heard this many times, I need to know the ROI on that email marketing and constant contact stuff. And if you can't show that to me, then I don't. And so I basically said, hey, ROI, one of our topics on Funday, is return on influence. He went nuts. I mean, he was like, I'm not kidding around, blah, 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 blah. He just like attacked me in front of the class. We ended up being really good friends now. I did a video for him last night because he finally got it. It was like he got off that old way of thinking, and, he's an old school guy, and so am I, more or less. But anyway, I'm just kind of blah, 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 rambling about everything that popped into my head. So thank you so much for that share, Suzette. I'm always delighted to have you here with us. You always bring great insight. And is your buddy there with you? Unmute yourself so she can say hi. Introduce yourself. Can't hear you.
There you go. Okay.
Hey, this is another Rachel. Can you hear me?
Tell us who you are. Yeah, tell us who you are.
I'm Rachel. My name is Rachel Griffin. I'm working with Suzette now at Innovate Social Media. So you'll probably see my face a little more from here out.
Thanks, Rachel, for jumping in on.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
We love help.
Yes, we do.
Thank you.
All right. I think muted myself. Sorry. We're doing great on time. We're at about 11:43. Everybody, we're going to, unless we have any other comments, we're going to jump over to Jacoby. And then, Jacoby, if you leave me a few minutes, we'll wrap it up. And everybody, feel free to jump into Jacoby's conversation. Raise your hand if you want to make a comment during. There you go.
Okay, I just wanted to come back to the Q&A. Lisa, L-I-S-A, has shared that her industry is coaching and training. So thanks, Lisa, for doing that. Okay, so I'm Jacoby Wing, and I am co-founder of Energy Arts Alliance. I'm also a writer, a poet, and a painter, or an artist. This topic really gets to the heart of what I love to do and what I think I'm here to do. I have kind of whittled down after a very broad set of experiences that the thing that I really think I'm here to do is to have and help create meaningful experiences. And so, meaning has always been where it's at for me. I just want to share, sort of start with an example of a company that I think gets at this start with the why that's been coming up and start with the purpose. Are you all, I don't know if any of you or all of you are familiar with GoPro. GoPro makes what Wired magazine called a clunky little camera, and we, Energy Arts Alliance, has just recently gotten one. And just to most of you know, but Energy Arts Alliance helps people, pioneering people and enterprises, live magically through the world of energy. So it recognizes that everything is energy, and we basically help people and enterprises plug into that to live and work more meaningfully. So GoPro is a really interesting study of starting with the why and not even really thinking about business as usual. It started in 2004, and it was just a surfer dude, and he was probably, like, at that time 20 or something like that, who was hanging out on his surfboard with his friends and wanted to find a way and have a way to be able to capture their rides. And it was just amateur. He wasn't looking to have it published in Surf Magazine or anything like that. They just wanted to share, share their surfing experiences and share the wave. So this has been close on our mind since we're down here in Maui on the North Shore near the best surf spot on Maui. And so, in a typical story like Apple, like Microsoft, like Google, like so many of these big corporate stories, they started on a really small scale, and GoPro went public yesterday. And the article about it in Wired is really cool because it was talking about why GoPro isn't about a camera. And it really, the thing is that the Flip, I don't know if any of you remember the Flip video. We had a Flip video in 2009. Flip video was completely put out of business because of what happened with the smartphones. That basically the smartphones started to be able to film in much higher resolution than the Flip video, and it was put out of business. So the Wired magazine was talking about why it probably won't happen to GoPro, because the GoPro camera is not fancy. It doesn't record audio. There's another company that's created a thing you can add to capture audio, but it's a tiny little box that's purely visual, and they've done a lot of really cool stuff in finding ways to harness it to your body or your surfboard or your skateboard or your hang glider or your dog or whatever. And so what the article was pointing out is that it's not about this consumer product of the camera. It's that they have already, because of who they are and how they started and what they want to do and listening to the users of their product, they've created a brand that is so powerful, because when you see someone with a GoPro, you know they're going off and about to do something awesome. That's what the article said. It's true. We've been driving all across the country since April, and all these motorcycle riders have the little GoPros on their helmets and are riding around. And so it's brilliant stealth guerrilla advertising that wasn't even part of what they did, because GoPro shows up in all these videos that they're posting, and not surprisingly, as they've gone public, one of the ways that they're seeing themselves being sustainable, because how much can there's only so many little box cameras you can sell, is they are getting basically into the media business, and some astounding number, like 8.5 million hours of video have been posted in the last few years that was shot on GoPro, and they've just done a deal with Virgin Airways, where Virgin Airways is going to have as their in-flight programming awesome, adventurous GoPro videos posted by the users. So that's a really good example of a company that is booming through just doing what they love. And people told them they were crazy. They're like, you're not going to be able to build a business on this finite, basic technology. Nobody will buy it. And the market has proven them wrong. So I think that's a really great corporate example. And I think from the, just circling back to what I talked about in the beginning, my experience in the work that we do is that we truly are hardwired with a blueprint. And our job and opportunity in this life, whether personally or as participants in enterprises or families or communities or churches or whatever, whatever community it is to have experiences, boldly have experiences really, that help us plug into the reality of that blueprint. And some people will experience it in one way, and others will experience it in other ways. Some people resonate with the words God and prayer, others that, like, you know, that makes them uncomfortable, who've had very intellectual upbringings. But it really doesn't matter whether we believe, you know, where we believe the source of who we are came from. The reality is that we are really uniquely here to do something in this life, and there are systematic ways. There are circuitous and sort of instinctive ways and systematic ways to be able to plug into that. And for us, we've discovered a format called the Nav Map, and we created it for ourselves to help manage this massive amount of vision that we started to have when we formed Energy Arts Alliance. And we found that it's something that already exists for and within every person and every enterprise, and it really produces some pretty magical results when you know, when you know what your map is. And being able to stay on purpose and in purpose, of course, becomes incredibly important the busier and bigger the scope of our contribution, because it gets very easy to get pulled into the what's. And the beauty of being able to stay focused on the whys is no matter what's happening in the environment, no matter what's happening in our lives, no matter whether the enterprise is quote unquote up or down, reaching people, not reaching people, making money, not making money, none of that really matters. As long as we stay focused on the why and the purpose and the meaning, then we don't get lost in the thicket of daily, of daily happenings around us, and we stay more centered and in charge of being able to be magnetic. And Sharon really nailed it at the beginning, and I know we all know this from our own experiences, that when we are expressing our purpose, it is irresistible. People get attracted to what it is that we're bringing to life, and whether they're a direct consumer of that or not, it becomes irresistible, and it provides an example, and as Kara said, a light in the world that people that can help shed light on other people's purposes. That's it for me.
Awesome. Who wants to jump in? I love, it's so true, and people are so thirsty for realness, and when you're living your passion and you're living what you're supposed to be doing, they want it. They're thirsty, and that's why I'm successful. It's not because I know Facebook inside and out, which I do, or LinkedIn, which I do. It's not that at all. It's they're thirsty for real, and that's my purpose, is to just be authentic. And wow, talk about everything coming full circle in the world. That was shunned upon in corporate America. And now it's like with the advent of social media, it couldn't have been a better marriage. Shelly's always been real, and Shelly had a platform to be that real person. So it's just been an amazing journey, and I'm pretty excited. So who else wants to jump in here? Suzette, you want to? Oh, Suzette, did you have something you wanted to say?
No, I think that the new buzzword out there is be your authentic self. That's what people are gravitate to. They want real. They don't want to gravitate to something that they know isn't going to be a positive energy in their life. So if we show who we really are inside and out, within our universe, then that isn't, like Jacoby said, it's you're a magnet. You're a magnet for positive energy.
Thanks, Suzette. Cara, you have something you want to say?
Well, I just want to incorporate a little bit about what Jacoby brought to the table with this GoPro, because on the voyage that I just went on, I took a class with Michael Marriott, who is a professional photographer who did all of the Michael Jackson shots during the trial. He's been an AP photographer. But anyway, we learned how to do hyperlapse, time-lapse, and video incorporating that GoPro, and it's all about the message in a visual way. And so it really is something that anybody watching and listening and reviewing to what she said, take heed, because getting one and learning how to use these tools will help you share that incredible energy and joy from the heart, because they're right there with you.
Great story on the GoPro for sure. Oh, there's Rachel. Wait, which dog is that? I can't say that word.
Let me unmute. That's Hermione.
Hermione. Hermione, look, she's turning around. She looks like she has a star on her back. Hi, Hermione. Thanks for being on our Google Hangout today. She's adorable, beautiful dog. All right, everybody. We have a couple minutes here. Let's see. Jacoby has something to add.
Yep, from the Q&A, I just wanted to let you know that Lisa loved your return on influence. She thought that was fabulous.
Lisa, listen to our past Hangouts. We did a whole Funday School on ROI, return on influence. We covered that one, I think, that was one of our first ones, first or second. Okay, cool. Okay, everybody. What's next up, our next Funday School will be July 25th. And I believe we'll always have the right to change our minds on this because we never know what the energy might feel like, right, Jacoby? The topic will be something around from profits to principles, why profit shouldn't be the primary motivator for business. And again, all these themes that we have are interrelated. They all are. So that sounds like what might be next after talking about our from business as usual to business as purpose, because it's so easy to be driven by the measure of profit and lose sight of why we're on the earth, period, whether it's in business or as a person on the earth or a spirit on the earth. So with that said, I would like my panelists to stay on. I thank every one of you. Cara, thank you. Jacoby for being our facilitator and our moderator. Rachel, loved having you for your first panel. You're welcome back anytime. Sharon, I'm of the Church of Sharon. I want to come to your preach. I don't know if you're still doing that, but I want to know more. If you are preaching, I want to hear you. Suzette, always great to have you and bring your energy. And Rachel with Suzette. And everybody that joined us today and who's watching this in recording. Thanks for being there. We hope you can make it next time. And peace out.